next process after that then would be to conduct a video interview based on initially what they disclosed to me. So we would sit in a living room setting, it would be comfy, and we would support them and we would ask them to tell us in as much detail as they can what has happened, and then that would be used as their evidence going forward to court. So with the video interview, we've got designated suites all around Gwent. We've got one in Cardiff in our sexual assault referral centre if we need to do the interview there. We've got 4 suites where we've got one in Brymawr, one in Llanbradach, one in Mega, and then we've got one next to the police station in Risca. They're designated buildings that are not manned. There's officers like myself who are something called AB, Achieving Best Evidence, video trained. We are specially trained to interview people for these offences. So we often have people tell us, it happened a long time ago, I don't remember, I'm worrying that I'm not going to be able to answer your questions. We are trained to be able to ask those questions and get answers out of people. So we always tell people, if it's happened a long time ago, don't worry, it's fine, you can only remember what you can remember. We are trained to support them in giving their evidence. A little bit like me sitting here now and having a conversation. So we would take somebody to one of our AB suites, is what they're called, and if they want a crisis worker to sit in the interview, they can for support, and it's in a living room setting where there will be a camera on the ceiling, it doesn't move, it doesn't make any noise, and you will be interviewed by an officer which you feel more comfortable with. If I'm your point of contact, it might be me. If you choose me to do it, it could be somebody else. Another officer then, we call a second, will be sitting in a different room monitoring and taking notes. So I would be sat asking questions, but I wouldn't be making notes, I would just be talking to them. And we would ask in-depth questions about what's happened. So usually we would ask, can you tell me in as much detail what has happened to you and what you'd like to talk about? And we would need to ask some difficult questions about the offence, usually things surrounding body parts and consent, about that individual, and then obviously the offender. That's all video recorded, and then in the event that it does end up going to court, that will be played in a courtroom. So it will be viewed by every person in the courtroom, including the offender themselves, and then our survivor then would have to give evidence. So they can be supported in multiple ways. They don't have to go into the courtroom. They can if they wish to do so, but there's things we can put in place to support them. So we could apply for things called special measures, which is usually screens, video link, pre-recorded evidence before court. And that's usually the process that we go through later on down the line with the interview.